What if your style could be more than just a reflection of the current trends, what you're seeing on social media, what you're seeing influencers wear, and instead, if your style could be a reflection of who you are authentically to your core? So I thought I would open with those questions. Welcome back to the show. So happy that you are here today. It is Style September here on the podcast. If you haven't listened to the previous two episodes, go ahead and listen to them. They don't need to be listened to in any particular order, but I am having so much fun providing this content to you. I hope that you're enjoying it. If you are, I would love if you would share this podcast with somebody you think might enjoy it too. Okay, so I asked you those two questions at the beginning of the show. And today we're going to dive deep into authenticity in who you are as a person in relation to your style, because this series is all about personal growth, personal development meets style. So let's have some fun. Okay. So your personal style is more than just the clothes that you wear. It's a reflection of your inner world. So what's going on inside in your mind? It's really a powerful communicator of your beliefs, your priorities, your values. And when your style aligns with your values, you can really create a very cohesive narrative for yourself that resonates with you, with others, but also in your style and what you're wearing. And the alignment that this brings authenticity. When you're aligned with your core values and you're dressing that way, it brings confidence that just really transcends fashion. Okay, so how do we do this? First thing is identifying your core values. And this does require introspection. It takes being quiet with yourself. It can take coaching if you want to go that route. So, what you are going to do is really consider the principles in your life that you follow that are true to you. And this can get a little bit murky because something that might feel true to you is something you've always done because you've always done it, but it might create friction in your life. That would be more of an acquired value. And we could go down that path today, but we're not going to. Acquired values are those that society, the media, our parents, our upbringing, school, outside sources, outside noise, if you will, have imprinted onto us. And then we carry those values around, but they're not really ours. And that creates stress, it creates friction. So, identifying our core values are those values that we are born with. They are like our DNA, our psychological DNA, intrinsically us. And some questions to ask yourself to get going on this path of identifying what your core values are would be, how do you define yourself? And don't think about that question in relation to values. I just want you to think about that question. How do you define yourself? Write it down and then start picking up the words and the descriptors that you see when you write down how do you define yourself. So that's one way to do it. Maybe one way you define yourself is that you are creative. You like to draw, you like to paint, you like to make things with your hands. So that creativity piece, pull that out. That could be one of your core values, okay? So that's one question to ask. Another question that you can ask yourself to identify your core values, and we have several core values. There's not just one core value. Ideally, you want to think of at least 10 for yourself in life. Okay, so next question is, what do you need to feel accomplished in life? Not accomplished for your mom, not accomplished for your dad, that you got some degree that they wanted you to get. What do you need to feel accomplished for you in life? That is another question. I'll give you one more. How do others see your most important values? So if you don't know what your most important values are, how do others see you? And I recommend going and asking people, maybe asking the 3 closest people in your life to you, ask them what they see in you as your most important values. So those are some tips that I have for you to really start digging in and figuring out what your true core values are. So, since this is not a coaching conversation that I'm having, I'm going to share some of my core values and how they translate to style. Just to give you an idea, go ahead and plug some of the values you pulled up for yourself from the questions that I just gave you and plug them in for your own style analysis, if you will. So, for me, one of my core values is sustainability. And I prioritize this, or I try to. I am in no way perfect. I'm not saying I'm perfect by sharing all of this with you, but sustainability is one for me. So I like to invest in items that are made of cotton and linen and silk rather than polyester, polyurethane, all of those synthetic materials. And yes, I do have items that are synthetic in my closet. Like I said, I am not perfect, but I try my best to support ethical fashion brands and natural materials, buy natural materials when I'm shopping. So I make sure that I'm looking for that when I'm shopping. And I did talk about investing in pieces. I think it was 2 episodes ago where I talked about more about materials. So go ahead and listen to that if you are interested. Another way that I implement my sustainability core value into my style is I love thrift shopping, vintage shopping, finding loved pieces that I can implement into my wardrobe. This helps save the planet. It can save time. It's just amazing. I love vintage shopping, love thrift shopping. If you have never gone and sustainability is one of your core values, highly, highly recommend it. Go to Goodwill. You can find local nonprofit thrift stores, and you can really find some amazing gems thrift shopping. Another thing that I am currently trying to be so much better at is upcycling old clothes. So, what do I mean by this? This could mean mending a sweater that has a hole in it. This could be hemming pants that don't fit you right or taking them in. So, just upcycling old things. I recently upcycled a pair of linen pants that I had. They were my favorite linen pants, and I actually replaced them. I love them that much. But I put them in the dryer and they shrunk. So they were too short. They just looked terrible when I put them on because they were too short. So what I did was I cut them and I sewed them, hemmed them, and I made them into shorts. So that is one way that I use my core value of sustainability when it comes to style. And we could go on and on with sustainability, but those are just some ideas and some examples if sustainability is one of your core values as well. So I talked about acquired values at the beginning of this episode, and I kind of want to go there with acquired values just briefly when it comes to style. Why? Because so many people wear things because they feel they should be wearing it, or because everyone else is wearing it, like we talked about with trends and just blindly following trends and going along with something just because it's quote unquote in style. So, what I invite you to do here is pay attention to your acquired values. Some hints could be, what values do I find most negative? And those could be negative values you see in yourself. They could be negative values you see in other people. I find it really helps to look at other people to identify what those acquired values might be. So acquired values sometimes / usually skew more negative. So, what are those acquired values that are coming in for you for your style? And a question you can ask yourself is, am I wearing this because I feel like I should for some reason? I have definitely worn things because I feel or I felt like I should be wearing them. And I'll give you an example. So I remember when preppy style was super in. It's in right now in 2024, but like head to toe prep. And I wore a white collared Abercrombie shirt. Yes, we're going back at least 15 years ago. White, short sleeve, Abercrombie preppy shirt with jeans. They were like low rise jeans. I guess you wouldn't call, well, I guess you could call jeans kind of preppy. Low rise jeans. And I had these pointy heels on. And I had my hair slick straight. And my hair is naturally very, very wavy, but I had it ironed very straight. That was the thing. And minimal makeup and a trench coat. And the trench coat was lined. It was like it had very thin black lining on it with like just a classic, it was a classic khaki. Oh my goodness, I cannot speak. Classic khaki trench coat, but with this black lining. When I tell you, it just did not feel like me at all. Oh my gosh, that outfit really comes to the front of my mind when I think of the question, am I wearing this because I feel like I should for some reason? Now, no one told me to wear this. I chose to wear it, but I felt like I should to fit in or whatever it was. But it made me uncomfortable. It didn't make me feel confident at all. So that's what I'm getting at here is that you will feel so much more in your own skin, so much more confident when you wear the things that you feel really reflect what matters most to you. So, this foundational understanding will really serve as your compass when it comes to guiding your style choices. So, knowing your core values and your acquired values really is so important. And if you'd like to get kind of a head start on this, in figuring out what your values are, I am listing a list of, I think it's over 100 common core values. So go ahead and click the link in the show notes. If you are watching this on YouTube, I will link it in the description for you. You can download it right now, reference it, and I hope that it is helpful for you. So once you've identified your core values or you've started to identify your core values as they relate to your style, it's time to audit your wardrobe. So you want to go through your clothes, your accessories, everything. Take everything out and assess whether they align with your core values. Here are 3 questions that you can ask yourself as you are auditing your wardrobe. Number 1, does this item make me feel like the best version of myself? Number 2, does it align with my values? So, for example, we talked about sustainability. You could have a core value of functionality, comfort, joy, fun. So, an example here could be if one of your core values is fun and this item that you've pulled out signifies being drab and frumpy and just the complete opposite of fun, maybe you want to consider donating it or getting rid of it in some way. So that's an example. Does it align with my values? Number 3, am I holding on to this because it's trendy or because it genuinely resonates with me? This series of questions requires a lot of self-awareness and the ability to let go. And I recently wrote an email in the Style Experience, which is a whole series that I'm doing right now. I'm doing it right now, but you can sign up anytime. And it's 3 weeks of a whole style experience where I take you through essentially coaching you on cultivating your authentic style. So we go through everything And one of the emails that I give to you is all about how to audit your wardrobe, how to declutter, the steps to do it, how to get really self-aware when it comes to getting rid of things, how to let things go. So that is one of the emails that you will get from me if you sign up for the style experience. And I will link the link to sign up. It's completely free, no strings attached. So go ahead and sign up for that if that is something that you are interested in. So, auditing your wardrobe will help you declutter your wardrobe to really help the pieces that you keep and maybe the pieces that you end up investing in really reflect your authentic self. The next step in dressing authentically you is mindful shopping. So when you shop with your core values in mind, you make more intentional choices. So this helps you from being just swayed and pulled and pushed when it comes to buying things on a fleeting trend that might be happening. You really are more inclined, or at least I am, to focus on quality over quantity. And I just had a light bulb moment. Maybe the next episode will be on quality over quantity when it comes to styles. So when you're focused on quality, hopefully you're seeking out items that align with your core values. So for example, I'm going to give you another example here. If community is important to you, how can you support that core value when it comes to shopping? I'll give you an idea. You might want to shop from local businesses, local designers that give back to your community. So do some research here before you go out and go shopping and just buy a bunch of stuff because it's trendy. Research local designers, local boutiques, and you will feel better about supporting them. You will feel better and you will have a story to tell as well with the items that you purchase from those businesses. Mindful shopping also means considering the life cycle of your clothes. So asking yourself when you're shopping, is this item built to last? What materials is it made up of? Can it be repurposed? Can it be recycled? So really choosing pieces that have longevity not only aligns in this case with sustainability, but it also contributes to a more timeless and cohesive personal style. Okay, so just to recap, in dressing authentically you, number one is identifying your core values and maybe also your acquired values, although I'm not making that an official step. Totally do that if you want to. And then auditing your wardrobe. This is huge. So you feel like you're not putting on clothes that you hate, accessories that you hate just because you feel like you should, because you feel like you have nothing else to wear. This is where the magic happens in the auditing. And then once you've audited, mindful shopping. So you're mindfully curating your wardrobe where you feel good about putting things on. It doesn't mean buying a million things and spending a ton of money. It could mean repurposing things in your closet like we talked about. So getting really creative here. And then once you've done all that, you are ready to embrace your unique aesthetic. And this is so fun because your personal style should really be an expression of who you are. And we've talked about how easy it is to just fall into the trap of emulating other people, but your style is a reflection of your identity. So I want to say here, if your style you feel is not quote unquote conventional, please go for it. Be bold, be different. So I just thought of an example here. If boldness or creativity is one of your core values, do not shy away from bold colors, bright colors, patterns, or unconventional combinations, like say a leopard print with a floral print. Make it you. As I was talking about the patterns, my mind went directly to like the sad beige look that is still in. It's so in, like the minimalistic beige creams, blacks. I was in that trap. Let me tell you, I was deep in that trap for a long, long time. until I did my color analysis, which I discuss in many previous episodes. But once I got my color analysis done, I was like, damn, this has forced me to really face who I am authentically, what colors I love, how do these colors make me feel? And I have not worn black out of the house. I do still have some sweats that are black, but even to the gym, I'm not wearing black. So embrace those bold colors if that is you. And let me say here too, if you are into minimalistic, or maybe one of your core values is simplicity. So the minimalistic look and beige tones, neutral tones, classic looks, those are you. That's totally fine. I'm just saying for me, I fell into that sad beige trap, as I like to call it, for myself. And that just is not my authentic aesthetic. So let your authentic canvas aesthetic be there for you to express yourself, express your identity and your values in your style. It is so much fun. Take the time to explore, curate a wardrobe that reflects you, because this isn't about just wearing clothes, like the clothes that reflect you. When you wear the clothes that are authentic to you, the jewelry, the accessories, right? Because that all goes into your look. You're not just wearing things, you're living in your truth. I'm so passionate about this because I have gone through this transformation, as I've talked about here, and I want the same for you. And that is all I have for you. I hope that you enjoyed this episode. As I mentioned, please join the style experience because we are going even deeper into all things style. We're talking color psychology, decluttering, as I mentioned, more on dressing authentically you, your values. I also have that common values list. So go ahead and download that. And with that, I hope you have a fabulous week, and I will chat with you next week. Bye.